Let's focus now on the quality of flow and the power of this shared field. Take a look again at this Tai Chi symbol, representing the invisible essence field, or the Tao that can't be said. Actually, the Tai Chi is not static, but is in constant change and motion. The parts and roles in consensus reality and dreamland are more separate and static, and closer to the Tao that can be said, like yin and yang. Though we can still see the potential field by noticing how each contains a bit of the other. That is, in the black and white dots. But at the essence level, they are part of one flowing field. This reveals a more dynamic understanding of unity. That has to do with the process and the flow of experience. The Australian Aborigines might call this background field the dreaming. And we can find many names for it in various traditions. Arnυ's name for this dynamic, non-dualistic, and shared field in the background of all group life is the process mind or system mind. A facilitator who is in touch with this process mind can feel into and move with all of the separate parts, while being connected with and eldering the larger, unfolding process.
Is the process mind just there, right around, a group?
Thanks for the question. Initially, Arnυ developed the idea of the process mind in connection not only with groups, but with the power of the earth. And then, it was more generalized to the power of the spaces of the universe.
Wait a minute. What do the Earth and universe have to do with being a facilitator and working with groups? Aren't we talking about real groups?
Yes, of course. Let me explain. It's important because being in contact with this process mind is a central key for group facilitation. And it's especially important for facilitators to be in touch with the power that is moving people.
I don't know what you mean, but I'm interested, because I always want to be a better facilitator.
Yes, me too. The basic idea is that in order to facilitate group situations best, we need a larger system mind, as Arnυ calls it.
What does that mean?
Think of it like this. In an earlier discussion, one of my friends spoke about the way in which every individual, couple, family, or group is embedded in a community, a nation, and larger world. And also, the whole earth. And the earth is, of course, part of the larger universe, which surrounds it.
Yes, of course that's right. So you're saying that all group life is embedded in our universal field?
That's right.
So, I still don't get, why is that important for me to know, as a facilitator?
A facilitator who is connected to this shared universal field that moves things has more overview and a sense of detachment and flow.
I'm beginning to understand. It's very important for facilitators to have this large perspective and sense of flow.
Yes, and at the same time, she or he can support all roles as part of one system, process.
So, from that larger perspective, the facilitators would be able to elder all parts.
Yes, that is so right. and also help bring about new types of sustainable resolutions.
From what I understand, this all has something to do with a kind of intelligence of the universe.
Yes, when someone is in touch with the process mind, they can sense that this universal field has a great deal of wisdom and intelligence.
Do you mean it's like my idea of God's thoughts? That is, the mind and intelligence of the universe.
Thank you, Albert. Actually, yes. Arnie came up with the idea of the process mind and shared fields, in part, from his studies of space-time in your relativity theory.
Oh, very interesting.
Oh yes. I heard you can read a lot more about all of that in his books, and especially the one called Dance of the Ancient One.
Oh, I just saw that on the internet.
Yes, me too. Of course, many peoples around the world have spoken about or intuited this basic intelligence of the universe.
That is right. You can find it in many places. And as far as I understand, the process mind is not only a theory. It is also an experience.
Experience. That's new. Tell me more.
It's the experience and feeling of being moved by the field around you. That is, by the force that moves you.
Yes. So, how do I get in touch with this process mind? Or will there be more about that in the world work methods and practice section of the film?
Yes, in the fourth part of the film, we'll go into it more deeply and how it can help facilitators. But for the moment, to say it simply, all you have to do is relax and imagine that the spaces of the universe begin to move you about.
Sounds interesting.
I could definitely use that feeling of relaxation and being moved. Especially when I facilitate.
Oh yes, me too.
Yes, I imagine that things can get pretty tense.
Yes, some of our friends will talk about that tension and other facilitator problems next.
I look forward to that.
Me too.
Actually, in the next section, Lucia is going to lead a very brief meeting about facilitator issues and the process mind. I think you'll find it interesting. I'll see you later.